Daily cyber briefing for Monday, the 8th of January. I'm Stephen Ridgway. I'm wishing you all a very happy new year. So I could start with a bunch of patches. Yeah, there's always patches. But I thought I'd change the approach and just let those of you who are, as I am, fans of Vim and Vi know Vim 9.1 has been released. New features, bug fixes, various other bits and pieces. So you can see from the article, there's a bunch of improvements. They're not, let's be honest, earth-shattering. However, it's always kind of cool when your favourite editor has a new version, so I shall be looking to test that one out ASAP. Key thing is, though, the bug fixes have focused on dealing with unsafe memory access, memory leaks, buffer overflows, potential crashes, and whatever. So if you are using Vim, Vi, then do have a look at this one. And bear in mind that it is entirely possibly there in your Linux system, even if you don't use it. And I am thinking of those of you that like Nano, for example, Eliza. But it is there anyway, so just make sure it is updated. So last year, one of the areas of interest was around producing quantum safe encryption algorithms. So the core of the issue being that the current approved and properly hardened encryption algorithms are relatively simple to break using quantum computing. Now, quantum computing is not in the mainstream yet, but it will be. I'm pretty certain this stuff there's too much work going on in that arena. And we will see it. A little while ago, there was a proper flap, wasn't there, around quantum computing is going to mean that all encryption is completely useless instantly. Well, that's unlikely to be reality. And there are now things like, NIST approved quantum safe algorithms. They're known as QSAs. So there is, however, a potential flaw in many implementations of Kyber key encapsulation mechanism. So the vulnerability is being, or the flaw is being referred to, actually it's a set of flaws, they're collectively referred to as Kyber slash. And they could allow the recovery of secret keys. So, and just to put this in context, Kyber is used in some popular projects already. So I think the ones called out in this particular article are Mullvad VPN and Signal Messenger. So it is definitely worth looking out for patches and updates with that. I think it raises an interesting question around the fact that, yes, okay, so the world is moving forward, and yes, we are dealing with the fact that quantum computing is going to change the landscape, certainly from a cyber perspective, change the landscape quite significantly. We're going to be doing a whole load of work to deal with that, but we're into new territory again. So we are going to be finding that this entire arena of where do the bugs come from, and how do we keep on top of vulnerabilities is probably going to ramp up in this space, certainly over the next. I'm not going to make New Year's predictions because they're rubbish generally, but I would be surprised if we didn't see more of this stuff during this year. So on other matters, there is a good article in Cybersecurity News talking about the Kyivstar attack from last December. So it's just as a quick reminder, in December last year, the Kyivstar, which is one of the major mobile communications providers in the Ukraine, was completely taken out for several days. That basically knocked out 24 million users. It now appears that, unsurprisingly, the attack has been attributed to Russian hackers. It now appears that the hackers broke into the telecommunications systems in May of 2023 and spent the interim time basically gathering information from being on the inside of the systems. And preparing for the right moment in order to effectively detonate the the bomb, metaphorically, and cause as much disruption as possible. So it is I think a timely reminder that if you are being targeted by these sorts of groups, be them nation states or well-funded criminal groups, especially nation state stuff, they may not compromise your environment and then immediately bring you down. They may spend quite a considerable amount of time as it were, lurking inside your organization. Now, there's two sides to that. One is if they manage to go undetected, that means that they will have a lot of information about you, and it probably means that they will be in a position to comprehensively disrupt your systems because they've had the time to do it. However, the other side of it is it does actually give you as defenders a longer opportunity to identify that this stuff has been going on. Now, people sort of laugh at that. Oh, APTs never target me. Well, okay, probably not. But you've got to be careful when there is a war going on. There are currently 2 wars going on. What you may perceive as your business model and what they perceive as the potential disruption associated with attacking your business may not quite line up. So your view of the threat landscape and their view of the threat landscape are not always particularly well aligned. So you may be under attack, but if you do find yourself in the in the crosshairs, and definitely anything which is even vaguely critical national infrastructure would be. So, telecommunications, transport, energy, oil and gas, electric, but also things like what am I trying to say? Sort of food distribution, water systems. These things that will cause disruption. They are going to be. You are going to be targeted, and perhaps in sectors that not traditionally seeing themselves as potentially a cyber threat, maybe very good at physical threat, but haven't really thought themselves to be sort of in the firing line, but may well find themselves that they are. Um, oil transportation and shipping and so on and so forth. So but it does, if you are in the position where you can get good security information from your systems, it does give you more time. If they are going to be lurking, you do have more time to discover what's going on. So as always, start with basic cyber hygiene, but also get really good visibility of what's actually happening. That would be a great way to begin. Anyway, finally from me, I like this one. There's an article in Malwarebytes, on the Malwarebytes website, titled "How AI Hallucinations Are Making Bug Hunting Harder." And it's an entire concept I hadn't really thought of. But I find it amusing, but it has a very serious side, but has a very serious impact. Bug bounties, love them or hate them, generally well-intentioned, don't always attract the most transparent and honest people in cybersecurity. Sorry guys if you work in bug bounties, but there are plenty of examples of attempts to, or not, almost extort money out of bug bounty systems, or depending on how the bug bounties are run. Anyway, so the less hands-on people in the bug hunting space have discovered that AI, the large language models like Chat GPT and Bard and the others will do the work for you. So not only will they analyze code and come up with where the bugs are, they'll also write you a very well written report that highlights this. Now, sort of historically, one of the things that you could do if you received a bug report was you could look at the quality of the report, and depending on the quality of the report, you may or may not take seriously the amount of effort put into attempting to understand and fix the things that are mentioned. It was one of the tools that you had in your toolbox for working out whether this stuff was real or not, blah, blah, blah. Well, now the reports are very convincing. However, they may well be fictional. The entire concept of AI, LLMs, just making. I like the fact that it's referred to as hallucinations. You've got to bear in mind the large language models have no concept as to whether something is true or not true. If there is an inconvenient lack of whatever it is that the thing would like to tell you about, I say like anthropomorphizing, but you know what I mean. There are no morals behind just making stuff up. Well, it's making up bugs. Now the trouble is with this is that that then does mean that developers are being passed very credible, very well written bug reports that are just made up. There are reports that large language models have invented CVEs and so on and so forth. So that's an interesting one for you. So I don't think there's much that we can do about this stuff. I think people will continue to use LLMs to do all sorts of things that LLMs what they can be very articulate about, but it may not actually be the best way to approach the problem. They're not a solution. Artificial intelligence is not the solution to all problems, but there we go. Anyway, I thought that one was quite interesting. That is quite enough waffling for me for the first day back with this briefing in the new year. I hope that you all had a good break over Christmas. Seems like a long time ago now. Christmas decks are down. 12th night was over the weekend, blah blah blah. So it's just a grey, chilly, and threatening to snow starts to the year where I am in south of England. So I hope your part of the world is okay, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow morning.